Hello and welcome to OWXL League Week 8 on Junkertown. Excited to get this one kicked off from the Challenger tier between Rein's Rejects and Crysis Red. It's first versus second. Let's try and take the top there. And this tier actually has been really tight all season. Really excited to bring it to you. Crysis Red 5-2, Rein's Rejects 4-3 right behind them. Rein's trying to shake things up there at the top, and Squad looking to this game as well, hoping to leapfrog up into second. But yeah, just again, going into this week, second place was 4-3 with 9 points. Seventh place 3-3 with 6 points. So very tight all throughout, and all to play for, trying to get into those last couple playoff spots. But kind of a challenge at the top here between these two teams who have been playing really well. Rein's Rejects off to a slow start. I know I've said it before early on in the season, but really playing well together and practicing quite a bit and getting to a good spot, and have looked really solid towards the playoff push. So excited for that. And I don't think either of these teams have a Week 9 makeup game, so this will be the last game of the regular season before the playoffs start week after next. So good to get a little bit of extra practice in before maybe a week of scrimmages for them before playoffs start. But yeah, just a chance to go out on a win here at the end of the season. So I think both teams are all set and ready to go. So without further ado, we'll get you into Junkertown. Again, payload maps exciting to do. Generally pretty, looking forward to them. I think we had Dorado in week 4. That was the only other payload map that was kind of required. We did see them kind of a little bit of watch point. I think a few teams picked Dorado as well. So got to see them a couple of times, but it's nice to get Junkertown on here quite a bit. It'll be Rein's Rejects defending first. Absorbed on Roadhog Sarge, BKL, and Soldier Father Squanch going Mercy, Moira less on Moira, and Brickout going Tank. We also see Brickout play a little bit of supports. We'll see how they kind of switch around just to make different comps. Super C filling out in the front. The triple tank with Reinhardt. For the attackers, still not completely decided. Greatest Gen going Tracer, Mellow Yeti on Zenyatta. I will see if Tajan stays with the Doomfist, but I kind of got it. But we'll see. Sarge on the Junkrat. Gonna get the damage in behind. Breakout's Orisa Shields, good comp for them. Let's try and plug up this kind of initial choke point. The attacker setting up really this time without a Bastion that we've kind of started to see from a lot of teams on payload maps. Without it here, just looking to get damage in elsewhere, but Witty Cap will go down pretty quickly. Sarge able to take him down. Yeah, but then Sarge falling, so it's a little bit even for them. The attackers obviously have the shorter respawn, and it looks like the res coming in from Father Squanch will get Sarge back into the fight. The defense holds, but it's Greatest Gentleman on the Tracer above them, trying to rain a little bit of damage. I don't know if they're aware that Flanker is back there. But it looks like they are cleaning up pretty well, tidying up around the payload, kind of defending. And yeah, the attackers try and stream back in, but it looks like a solid defense from Rejects so far. What do you got falling once more? They won't have that shield, but now both wrists down as Breakout falls as well. Up to the high ground, Warrior Town kind of booped up there a little bit. Able to take a breather, get some health back. And yeah, it's able to pick up Father Squanch from behind. The Coalescence coming from Moira less won't have too many to heal as the attackers start to pick up the rest of these kills. And Moira less will just have to retreat. The rest of the team kind of falls around him. And that'll be the clean kind of clean up there for them. Yeah, attackers rounding the corner. And you see the defense silhouettes coming back, but a little bit staggered. Now Greatest Gem trying to get in behind with this Pulse Bomb and kind of disrupt the defense before they can contest the payload. Gets the stick, but not quite enough damage to take down Super C, trying to fill it back in, has to recall, try and get away with the damage. A lot coming through that small area with the Junkrat, so has to escape to the health bag, but not quite out of it just yet. Absorbed and Father Squad both going down on the feet as Tajan gets a couple kills. Genem did fall back there. Sarge take him down, and the attackers will be able to cap the payload. and continue pushing. Looking at alt economy Tajan, sitting here with a tank mode configuration tank. Could come in protected by the Meliator Transcendence, but could also be waiting for the Absorb VKL tactical visor. Actually, pretty far away. You probably got another Transcendence before that came through. Wanted to wait for it, had the opportunity, but now as you got Sarge getting a good double there, Tajan and Lucibro both falling, the attack immediately disrupted, and it's continuing to go off. This Junkrat able to pick up another one before finally getting pulled by Super C, I believe, or Warrior of Time rather, able to take him down. The opposite Roadhog able to take down Woody Calf once more. That Wrist is having a difficult time staying up. Now with a few ults though, Warrior of Time, you see with the whole hog could try and use it, but it doesn't have really a lot of damage to follow in, so it is kind of pulled out of a good spot there. It does go down, so we'll be staggered a little bit. Sarge with the tire will again look to kind of push back the attackers before they can really build any momentum. And just looking to get into a safe spot, see if he's able to, I don't know if they're really know that he's up behind him. And here comes the tire looking for a couple, sees the tanks, and does get two. Lucibro and Warrior of Time both falling to that tire. And that is exactly what they need to kind of push this their favor. But the attack still has a few ultimates that are probably smart to pull back, though. Don't really have the kind of protection to use them. Woody Calf here with 8 health is able to escape and get back to his healers. And it's a good hold for the defenders, but they use a couple ults. They do have two support ults on the way. Super C actually very close to a whole hog absorb right behind him. So they'll have quite a bit to continue holding the payload. 2 minutes and 47 seconds to continue holding this. They did concede the first point a little easily, but the defense kind of galvanized here and really holding a lot better in this second section. Now Tracer in behind is Greatest Genom again, 34% away from a pulse bomb, trying to build a little bit more with damage in on the supports, more or less able to push him away a little bit, use the Coalescence. The other one coming out from the attackers. That's Lucibro using a Coalescence as well. And kills now going for the attack. Tajan and Greatest Genom trying to get damage in. Tajan disrupting the tire from Sarge. Then that Tracer following up behind. More or less, and absorb both in the feed. And again, the defense holds pretty strong with the attack, losing numbers quickly. Absorb wraps up with a tactical visor, able to pick up Tajan on Sombra and Lucibro as well. Again, the attack will have to kind of meekly peek around this corner, trying to hide behind the shield from Woody Calf. Now switch to Reinhardt off the Orisa, need to be a little bit more mobile. And no ults for either side. Actually, Greatest Genom very close to that pulse bomb, just earned it. And maybe try and plant that mine right in the back and get good kind of space for the attack. Now the EMP coming out, I don't know how many it grabbed. It's like maybe a couple, but able to get away from most of the danger. Kills kind of swapping either side in the feed. Tajan continuing to push with the Sombra, and as far as ults, Melo getting very close to a Transcendence, but went down and won't be able to join the fight. Lucibro with a Coalescence can continue to push, but a close on the other side. We might see it here. Now the attack looks like they're cleaning up pretty easily. Rick out kind of caught out on the Diva. Goes out of mech. The attack continues to clean up. Looks like they'll cap this second point. Minute on the clock. As the contention continues coming from Super C, trying to swing as much as possible. The stall won't work. 2 minutes and 29 seconds for the attack to come to this third section, and looking pretty good.
My ultimate is ready to be unleashed. My ultimate is almost ready.
Now the defense looks to regroup a little bit. Father Squanch on the Mercy, 20% or so away from the Valkyrie, more or less, again with that Coalescence. Work out here with a self-destruct. Looking to find a good spot behind the Woody Calf shield, or at least separate the attack before they engage with that ultimate. The attack, though, has a lot to work with and will be smart not to overindulge here. The hack coming through catches a couple. Greatest Genom able to take down Super C, Sarge dropping as well. And the attack continues to go, but Vrickout goes and gets to the other direction with the Transcendence. It's a self-destruct on the other side for the attack. Won't catch anything. The Transcendence, though, from Mellow Yeti, just trying to keep the attack alive. They continue to get the kills. Rick out of mech, now dropping. It's Father Squanch on Mercy, caught out. And you have to continue to try and stagger back in a little bit, but looking to regroup here behind the shield from Super C American. Absorb DKL coming out with a double on the tactical visor. The Warrior of Time, Lucibro both falling, and now the defense starts to galvanize again. That was a fantastic ultimate, and Sarge, getting in on the tire once more. And it's just a lot of, I'm kind of surprised by the defense, able to push Crysis Red back here. We're kind of steamrolling through this third section, but the defense able to get just kind of 4 behind that shield from Super C. I guess him and then the other 3, so 4 of them there. And used a couple ults. Sarge and Absorb really coming through on the DPS to get those kills and push the attack back. We've got 45 seconds now and not really anything to work with. A ways from a few walls, so look to build them quickly before this last engagement, but the defense a little bit closer. Father's Watch with a Valkyrie already. More or less 15% away from that coalescence. The charge coming through won't really work for Witty Gaff. Falls, takes a Helix rocket there from Absorbed, and the defense again getting the kills. Warrior of Time able to take down the Reinhardt on the other side though. Super C falling 5% away from that ultimate. Now the coalescence from Moira Les trying to get damage in the res is able to come through on Super C. Maybe they can use that shadow here in a second. The defense continuing to push the attackers further back, and more or less it's again with that coalescence able to take down a couple. Takes Warrior of Time out of mech. And it's starting to look really good for the defenders. The attack doesn't really have a leg to stand on and run directly into each other. It's in overtime, 2 minutes, or rather 2 points on the clock for them. The defense, all members on point. And the attackers, yep, they don't have anything with which to contest. It was a good push for them, but continuing here, actually, it's Greatest Gen trying to come back in with the Shatter, takes them down immediately, trying to combine, but they're trying to get numbers back on point. It's the Somber now, Tajin, Warrior of Time, they're staggering back in, but I don't know if they can stagger long enough, rather. The Valkyrie coming off Father's Watch now ending, able to keep them alive while the engagement's going. Overtime dropping, and that will do it. 2 minutes, or 2 points rather, but a good push for Crysis right on Junkertown. And we'll see if Rein's rejects can respond. A really strong defense there towards the end. We saw it get a little bit better in the second section after the attackers Crysis Red were able to take that first point relatively quickly. But now coming out, you see Sarge already going to the Bastion. We'll see if they've got Super C on the shield tank, opting for Reinhardt instead of Orisa. Absorbed on the Roadhog. Father Squanch again on Mercy, more or less. Rick now playing the Sombra. We'll see if that has the same kind of effect. I think those EMPs were helpful for the attackers, and but they didn't have the Bastions. So we'll see if that combining well. Sarge, you can just kind of melt down everyone who loses the protection of the shields on the other side. Warrior of Time on Diva, trying to dive in with Tajin on Genji. Witty Gaff defending the supports, and Greatest Gen behind him on the Reinhardt Mellow Yeti. Blue Zero on Zenyatta and Lucio. Greatest Gen going Soldier.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. The true struggle is for the security.
Now Rick out on the Orisa. It's a double shield and triple tank for the attack, and Sarge looking for a space to get in behind. Look, waits for the shields to set up on the payload. We'll try and get in. Tajin poking in from the back, but now the shields have to peel a little bit, and Sarge finally does get set up, but they're pushing really well, getting damage in on the tanks, and the defense has to pull back a little bit. They've got the defense matrix from Warrior of Time, but we're very close to going out of mech. We'll have to retreat. Now it's Witty Gaff dropping as Sarge is able to get the damage there. Not able to get the res though. Father's Watch pushed away from that. Being able to use the ability was on cooldown, and the bash will stay down rather. 15% away from his configuration tank. Very close, and we'll be able to use it. Tajin already with the Dragon Blade could look to clean up once his team kind of comes in around him. But he's able to get in damage very low, but does drop. Can't reflect that, and not quite able to get away. So the defense has to kind of regroup. The attackers continue to push. It's been a pretty strong push for them so far. But the defenders come back in. They've got a few tanks now. Lucio on Lucio at 55% to the sound barrier. Tajin's still the only one with a ultimate for the defenders. Sarge with a tank mode. Again, has an opportunity to use it here. And actually, will get cut down very quickly. Tajin with the Dragon Blade looking to get in kills. Witty Calf with a good double with the Fire Strike on Sarge and Father Squanch. Tajin, it will only pick up one on Super C, but it may be enough for them. Actually trying to continue contesting. Witty Calf falls. It's just a couple left for the defenders. Tajin and Warrior of Time looking to stall as long as possible. Absorbed with a whole hog with not a lot of health as Greatest Gentleman comes back in. Transcendence here. Well timed for Melugeti again, just to keep the defenders alive. They kind of used everything there. 3 ultimates for the attackers to come and re-engage, but Witty Calf very close to a Earth Shatter. Warrior of Time with a that's self-destruct on the way, and Lucibro with the support ult, Sound Barrier. But yeah, just close to 5 ultimates actually for the attackers. Sarge getting melted here, has to retreat and kind of get some health back. Trying to stay behind that Arisa shield, but a lot of damage coming in from the defenders. And some from over the top as it's Diva's behind, but not worried about it. Sarge going into the configuration, taking its ultimates on both sides, I believe. But gets shut down pretty quickly. Warrior of Time with the triple, able to take down Absorbed with Sarge and Rick out with that self-destructing that which may shut it down for them. Warrior of Time, Witty Calf, Tajin, everybody getting in on the feed. And yeah, that'll be a good hold from the defense. Just 1 minute and 20 seconds as the attackers continues to kind of crumble here. And they'll have to regroup. They still have 2 ultimates to work with, but 2 on the other side as well. They'll have to be smart about how they use these, but running out of time a little bit, so they'll have to just kind of regroup and get one solid push through. Now the Valkyrie coming out from Father Squanch, just trying to keep those attackers alive as they come through this next fight. It's a shadow come through from Witty Calf, catches a couple. The pin onto Super C will take that tank out of the fight. Meluyeti gone as well, though. The Reds coming through for Super C, able to get back in, swinging big and combining well the takedown of Witty Calf. Getting revenge there a little bit, and now the defense looks like they're cleaning up. Lucibro trying to escape, Tajin still contesting, and his Greatest Gen M, I believe, on the soldier there in the back. Just looking for an opportunity to use this tactical visor and try and hold, but his team's kind of falling around him. Super C and Father Squanch, Sarge, everybody just kind of getting in on it, and Rein's Rejects continues to push. Greatest Gen M opts to retreat, and I think they'll concede this point. So kind of at the death for a little bit for Rein's Rejects, but able to take it here too, and it's 40 seconds on the clock, and we'll see if they kind of come together and get better with their attack like we saw Crysis Red do. So still a lot to work with. They've got the 3 ultimates from the 3 tanks. The Primal Rage, again, that could help them with contesting and just kind of pushing back the defenders before they can really get regrouped. Absorbed with this whole hog. And the Shatter looking to catch them caught out if Witty Calf should go down again. But a Shatter of his own, so have to be careful for that. And Ultimate's building on the other side as well. Greatest Gen M has a tactical visor but can't use it now. Breakout able to take him down. Warrior of Time uses the self-destruct, able to get in behind, and doesn't quite catch anybody. A lot of shields there still. Super C Shatter could be on the way. They're looking for some space in behind this Reinhardt shield. The Supercharger coming out here from Breakout, right on top of the payload for the attack. And now it's swinging big. Super C able to get Witty Calf down. Again, Greatest Gen about half health. Again, has retreat. Yeah, the defense really trying to stall as long as possible. We've got a few members on point, but it's just really looking good for Rein's Rejects. They're pushing really well through the second section. Again, just playing a lot better than they did on that first. The first point can be a little bit difficult, but really gaining some speed here, some momentum. 1 minute and 25 seconds on the clock, and Witty Calf may just have to retreat and wait for the rest of his team. We'll see if they try and contest this right before the end, and they will just concede it, and that's probably the best option for them. Still with 2 ultimates, and Lucibro very close to a Sound Barrier. Tajin here trying to get damage on this Winston could do it. It's a good option against this quad tank, but we'll see if enough damage can come in with all the barriers they've got. Super C again with the Shadow, looking for an opportunity to get in when the tanks are down. Tajin out of the fight means the damage won't come through on the tanks, but a fantastic Shatter again from Witty Calf, able to catch a couple, and now the defense really starting to clean up. Warrior of Time grabs a triple. And Greatest Gen M picking another one up on Sarge, and Absorb all by himself will fall, and it's a good defense here for Crysis Red. 2 minutes on the clock, and a couple of ultimates to work with, more or less, very close to a coalescence. Sarge switching over to the Reaper, and Tajin back on that Somber, trying to take the lower health pack. Waiting for that Shadow for Super C, but again looking for an opportunity. The shields down here may look for a chance. Witty Calf Still up with the Coalescence, trying to get him to lower that shield. Does so for the Earth Shatter and falls there. Super C still with the Shatter, looks for an opportunity, gets 2 in it. Warrior of Time and Tajan both falling. Absorb using the Whole Hog there, looking for that Sombra. Now the Tactical Visor coming in from the high ground. Greatest Genem, protected mostly by that shield. The defense doesn't really take a lot of, or the attack rather, doesn't take a lot of casualties. But now really starting to get the kills in. Tajan, Greatest Genem, dropping them, but the payload continues to push underneath. It's a huge EMP coming in from Tajan, able to build that very quickly, and now the defenders rather really starting to clean up. Or less able to answer one back, but it may be all for naught. Has to retreat again, and now not a lot of time to work with. Now Sarge has the Death Blossom, looking for an opportunity to get in behind the defense and use it. They don't see him back here. Greatest Genom on the high ground, making pushed off by this Reaper. He's got a chance, uses it, and catches 2, 3, and what a huge ultimate there from Sarge, able to get in the kills. Father Squanch, Super C, wrapping up as well the entire attack, coming through, getting a solid, maybe a team kill. And all started with that, just a lot of damage coming through. They were able to distract, and Sarge getting in behind, able to use the Death Blossom, picks up a triple there, and yeah, now the defenders scrambling to get back to the point. As much as possible, the overtime meter now ticking down. It's a fantastic match between these two teams. Stun coming through, and that's a solid shatter from Woodycap. Swinging bid, looking to get some kills. Lighting up the feed for Crysis Red. The hack coming through again from Tajan on that Sombra. And they just shut down the attack when they thought they may have won it there. Strong defense from Crysis Red to take that first match. So many contenders for the play of the game. Warrior Time getting the one here, and just a well-placed ultimate to pick up 3. That was a good attack from Crysis Red, and solid defense for them as well there towards the end. Really thought that after the Death Blossom that would have done them in, but yeah, able to come back and pick up the kills they needed. Solid defense, and Crysis Red getting the first win, get the map pick from Rein's Rejects. We come back. And oh man, solid game. from Crysis Red, Rein's Rejects on the last week of the regular season, both fighting for kind of places up there at the top. I think Crysis Red does have a better opportunity to take first. They actually did, I think, win a head-to-head in week 1, so Fake on the seal, but Rein's Rejects trying to get kind of the pride of knowing that they can kind of take down the top team right before the playoffs and kind of maybe rattle some nerves, because these teams could definitely meet again in the playoffs. So yeah, a lot to play for here. Not quite map pick coming out yet. Could be some substitutions. I think it will be actually King's Row, and a good pick for Rein's Rejects. We've seen them play well here. So take some substitutions and get those readies from the captains. We'll be right back. Alright, appreciate your patience, guys. And the lobby setup, having to switch the sides for the hybrid map to do the payload map, and Crysis Red to defend first. Rather, they attack first. Now, switching sides, and yeah, going on King's Row here. Alright, a few substitutions coming in now for Rein's rejects. Corbeck coming in, and on the other side, just T-Buck coming in for Crysis Red.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
And now coming in, Tajan here on the Doomfist, able to get a few kills in there, but able to get back to supports earlier. But now going down, able to get caught out, Super C, getting the kill, and the defense continuing to pick up some of these kills on the attackers and holding this point very well. Now switching Tajan off the Doomfist to Pharah, trying to get damage in over the top rather than through the middle. Great addition falling through the attack. Continue to drop members, but they have the sword respawn, so they have opportunities to continue pushing this chokehold. Now, an ultimate coming up from Sarge, looking to get damage with his Junkrat tire, looks to hide in and catch the attack unaware. Gets behind and does get recap with that tire. Yeah, still a good defense for Rein's rejects. Rick out with a that self-destruct can get in over the top of this gate and catch the defense again. Recap with the shadow coming back through, looking for an opportunity to catch Super C without his shield up. Just T-Buck able to take out his opposite Rick out, getting out of the mech, and the defense continuing to hold. The rocket barrage coming in from Tajan catches two, Sarge and Father Squanch both falling, getting damage into Super C as well. Now Crysis Red really starting to push. Corbeck caught out. The supports continuing to retreat, but I think this will be a cap for Crysis Red on point A. Now contention coming in from the defenders, looking to maybe stall a little bit longer, but Rick out going on the back, and now just will be staggered as they do cap the point. Does have the long spawn. Father Squanch could halt the attack with Graviton Surge. Corbeck and Super C with ultimates as well. Or for the other side, Jesse Buck now using one of them here with the self-destruct, trying to catch a couple. Does Sarge VKL and Korbeck both falling? Those that valuable ultimate from the Zenyatta, not able to help. The Shatter coming through, but no damage to follow it up. The attack continuing to push through the streets phase, and the healing not quite enough for Father Squatch, just dropping there, and again continuing to retreat. Station, this switch to the fair, a good idea, able to get a lot more damage through and really helping the attack continue to push the defense a little bit further back. Korbeck again with that Transcendence, not able to use it just yet, but looking for a good opportunity. Could find one with that Tajin Rocket Barrage on the way, 2% away at 98%. Transcendence on the other side, Bro with a support ultimate as well with the Valkyrie. And Korbeck trying to get closer to his team so he has enough space to keep them healed once that barrage does come through. He can get that very quickly with that speed. You got to be as close as possible. It's good positioning from the Zenyatta. It's a Transcendence. On the other side, Swift is trying to keep the attack alive, and Korbeck's still patient here, looking for that opportunity. Sarge actually picking up a good double there for the defense that may be able to hold this up. Now the Transcendence coming through. He's able to save a couple of those tanks. Breakout does drop a lot of the damage there, but Korbeck able to keep the defense alive with that Transcendence. And yeah, the defense will wrap up, able to push back the rest of the attack, and that ultimate wasted there for Tajin. 2 minutes and 28 seconds for Rein's rejects. The tactical visor here from Sarge looking to grab a couple, tries to find damage in on this lonely Zenyatta. Swift in a tough spot, low on health, and make it stagger does drop there. Sarge able to clean up that support. Just the one ultimate, Super C with a shatter here for them, looking for an opportunity, but protecting the payload for now. Woody Calf with a shatter on the other side, the only two ultimates up currently. Rick out close for Rein's rejects. Will have that supercharger to continue this defense. Fire strike coming through for Woody Calf, just shield poking a little bit, now swinging a little bit more. His shield in kind of a worse spot than Super C, if about the same. But that Reinhardt battle now going well off the payload. It's trying to come back in from Super C, but he does get the help, or rather he drops Swift's getting the help onto Woody Calf to get that Reinhardt down. Greatest shit over Korbeck able to answer back, but now falling from being a little bit caught out of place. Jesse Buck able to pick him up. Lucy Bro getting the kills in for the attack. Crysis Red continuing to push, and it'll be a retreat for Sarge. Gets to the Mega, but they will just leave him alone there. He'll retreat the rest of his team. Maybe trying to contest a little bit before the speed checkpoint gets melted pretty quickly. Swift able to wrap up that kill, getting health and damage all around. It's that Mortar from Swift diving in on his opposite. Mortar will have to fade away and retreat all the way to spawn. It's good. Aggressive push from these attackers, and they'll cap B pretty easily. A lot of ultimates for the attackers. Greatest Gem with that Pulse Bomb. Looking for a chance to use the Tajin here with the EMP. Already has that health pack hacked, and really excited for this Somber changes coming out. Which should be a little more of a DPS, and should be interesting change on the meta, or so I'm told. Pure Pain, give me a little advice. I can give him a shout out. Now the EMP coming through from Tajin, able to grab a couple. The Shatter combining well, Korbeck dropping it. Now the kills really going the way of the attackers. Crysis Red lighting up feet, and the defense is trying to hold on as long as possible. They still have some tanks here though. Super C low on health, but still with the shield up, getting the help with the supercharger and the more of his support here. The sound barrier rather coming in from Lucy Bro, but a shatter catches 5, and that's a huge shatter for Super C, but he misses the ball. It goes directly off the side. Super C, you killing me. And now the Coalescence coming out in from Swift, trying to clean up, gets a couple Sarge, both falling as a third cap, and a completely kind of map completion for Crysis Red. Good attack there. And the Shatter, all for naught, coming through from Super C, not quite able to get all the damage you wanted there, but still a good attack from Crysis. They did with a little bit of time on the clock, 131, and they'll look to get in a good defense. Rein's rejects, though, a pretty aggressive attack we saw from them on Junkertown, looking to answer back and win this game to force the third one in the series. Really tight game so far. It's been a good kind of back and forth from these teams. Now coming out for the attack, Super C on the Reinhardt, or the Reaper rather. Corvette going Zenyatta, Sarge on Diva, Father Squanch on Zarya, more or less on Moira, Breakout going Winston. For the defense, Greatest Genem on Soldier, Tajin again going Sombra, and getting a lot of Sombra play. I like that she's kind of coming back into the fold. Wittycalf on Reinhardt again. Justy Buck going Diva, Swift on the Mercy, Lucy Bro on Symmetra. Now Rein Freejack's coming out. Need to get some damage in on Crysis Red Defense. They're holding a little bit further back from the choke, just waiting for the attack to kind of come in and kind of expose around the gate. Fire Strike in from Wittycalf, looking to repel them a little bit further. Not a lot of help here for the DPS. Super C caught out with without a shield, has to retreat to the theater. Still not a lot of damage coming through. Corvette very low and does fall. Tajin able to get the kill on the Zenyatta. And it'll be a little bit of a regroup here for the attack. Trying to group up in the theater just a little bit. Waiting for the rest of the members. The defense still holding well. Ultimate's not really building just yet for either side. We see Lucy Bro about 25% away from that teleporter, which would be really helpful for them. Sarge kind of caught back here. The attack really kind of pushing in on him, loses mech, and then drops him very quickly. Corvick here, Lucio trying to keep his team alive, but they're kind of falling around him. It's going back and forth. Hard to tell who really has the advantage. But yeah, it looks like the attack really kind of pushing in now. Breakout, or rather just T-Buck, out of mech, and we're cleaned up pretty quickly. And it's going to be a pretty easy cap there for Rein Freejack's strong attack from them. Actually, still trying to contest this point. Kind of let it go there. They came back in, really strong defense from them. Kind of assumed that it was gone, but Tajin now dropping here for the defenders. The Primal Rage coming out here for Breakout, but gets a little bit low on health. We'll retreat a little bit. Few down from them, and yeah, actually, really strong defense. Got 3 ultimates here, 4 ultimates for the attack, trying to get some space, but Super C kind of caught out again. Tajin able to pick him up, and that's an easy kill for the Sombra. Super C dropping as well, hacking this mini here in the hotel side, just trying to prevent that attack from coming through that direction. They're kind of getting zoned out pretty easily, but they do have a lot of ultimates to work with, a lot on the defenders' side as well, as Justy Buck earns this 4th for them, self-destruct. Now it's a Coalescence coming out from more or less, but I think dropping pretty quickly. The Valkyrie from Swift just trying to keep the rest of the defense alive. Yeah, still a shadow here from Wittycalf, looking for an opportunity to use it, but they may not need it. Still wrapping up kills there. 60 seconds left for the attack, and they're having a difficult time getting through this Crysis Red defense. Yeah, still 3 ultimates for the defenders here. 3 ultimates for the attack by the Squanch on that Sombra now, looking to get the EMP in behind, has an opportunity to use it. Sarge looking for that Mercy, does get the kill on Swift 63. Father Squanch in, looking to use this EMP. Father and Wittycalf with the shield down, maybe having to retreat to the high ground. Is able to find his opposite Sombra, but can't quite take him down. Tajin able to pick him up, won't be able to use that ultimate. Not a lot of time left. They're continuing to contest this payload. Yeah, it's Death Blossom coming in from Super C. Now the attack finally does start to clean up this point. Woody Cap may retreat here. It's good. I finally capped for them, and I really thought they had a lot further back, but able to pick up the point here. Ooh, and a hack may have just saved Justy Buck. Wasn't careful, may have gotten caught with the long spot, but now Tajan falls instead. Bit of a sacrifice, that Sombra will have to wait a bit to come back into the fold. It's a good attack from Rein's Rejects, a little aggressive here in the Streets phase. It's a Primal Rage, though, coming out from Brickout, trying to push back the defense as much as possible. And yeah, still going on. Good push from SARS. The payload continues to push behind them with the supports. Justy Buck caught out here and does go out of meta, staggering the defense really well. And Brian's Rejects looking good so far. Defense now coming back in, a little bit trickling, but they've got the shield tank from Woody Cap and the Shatter. The ultimate from Tajan, the EMP on its way as well. Looking for a chance to use that Shatter, but not really doing well on health. Has to retreat a little bit. Goes way back. We'll see if the EMP from Father Squanch kind of changed the tide of this fight for Ryan's Rejects. But now they may not need it. Picking up the kills well. The self-destruct coming through, a last ditch ever from Justy Buck. See if it is successful. It does catch Breakout on the tank. 56% to that ultimate. And was able to zone out really well. So not difficult not to have that, but now Justy Buck caught out. The rest of the defense looks like they're retreating. Will be a B cap for Ryan's Reject. They did that obviously a lot faster than they did the first section. And I'll kind of a lot of time now, 2 minutes and 21 seconds, but obviously 1 minute 31 for Crysis Red, so definitely they're going to be looking to whittle down that time as much as possible, but the attack continues to push from Ryan's Rejects. Wrapping the payload around the corner, still all things to work with. Corbic here with the sound barrier could use to help the attack continue to initiate. Woody Calf about half on health, looking to get some help from his supports, but the damage is too much for him. Justy Buck now falling as well. There's 2 tanks down for the defense. The Transcendence, the last ditch ever here from Lucy Bro, just trying to keep everybody alive. Tajan with the Rocket Barrage, able to pick up a couple. Now Greatest Genom with the Deadeye is not able to get that off. Super C able to pick him up from behind. And a couple of attackers left. It looks like defense really starting to clean up. It's a couple tanks left for Ryan's Rejects. But looking a little low. SARS there going out of Mac more or less in the back, trying to heal as much as possible, but will retreat. It looks like they'll have to concede this fight to the defense. But now it's an ultimate coming out from Rick out, so they may actually have to engage this. Maybe if they just want to continue stalling, just try and maintain time, but I think it'd be better to come back and regroup. But actually, now they have a full team. This could be a good opportunity for them, using a Death Blossom coming in. Super C looking to get a couple kills. Woody Cap falls. The payload continues to push. Greatest Genom very low. The only remaining attacking representative now is just Tajan on the Tracer. It gets hacked here by Father Squanch. And they finally do take him down. They continue to push the payload. They do have it, I think, yeah, 56 seconds left on the clock. What a push from Ryan's Rejects on the payload section. After really struggling on that first point. But solid answer from them. They're a little bit disadvantaged in the time bank, but it's looking pretty good. So solid response there, just 30 seconds behind the time posted by Crysis Red on their initial attack. And Ryan's Rejected definitely still in this. 30 seconds can be a long time, but that's basically just one initiation, depending on how quickly you get in and out. So that could be the difference maker, but we'll see how well their defense can repel the attack from Crysis Red that was pretty strong on their first round. The composition's coming out now. Super C on the Roadhog for Ryan's Rejects, Corbeck on Lucio, Sarge going Reinhardt, Father Squanch on Zarya, Moira less on Moira, Rickout going Diva, attacking here, and then for the defenders, Greatest Genom on Soldier, Tajan, double hit scan on McCree, Woody Calf on the Reinhardt, Justy Buck, Diva, Swift and Lucy Bro on the supports, and trying out the Symmetra again to continue getting a little additional support from that teleporter. Now an aggressive attack here. They're getting the turrets down as much as possible. They lose Sarge very early, but Tajan also falls for the attackers. Still pretty even, but the attack is the shorter respawn, looking to continue getting damage in, but they're kind of shooting a lot of different targets. That's Symmetra low, Lucy Bro looking to get out, but now both divas out of mech. The defense continues to hold here a little bit. Greatest Genem able to take Rick out down. Super C getting that Symmetra, so they're 5% away from a teleporter, so a huge kill for them. More or less falling for the attack, but still kills just swapping either side as Rein 3X continue to get reinforcements on the point. Now a Tactic Visor coming in from way behind. That's from Greatest Genem, looking to get a couple kills. And may fall there. Yeah, that's a really good push here from Rein 3X. They will cap the first point right as we go into overtime, and this will be a really strong cap for them. It's a switch to Reaper from Greatest Genem. A lot of ultimates building here for the attack and a very strong push. They're still in overtime, so we'll have to be conscientious of that and stay on the point. But just one ultimate for the other side. Tajin and Swift very close, Lucy close to one as well. So the attack, or the defenders rather, will look to pick that up very quickly, but again, Rein 3X looking very solid here. Ooh, strong shatter, goes right into the shield, protected well. Woody Calf able to keep that up, and that's an ult wasted there for the defense. Shows him how it's done, gets a couple with his pickup. I think 3 at least. Tajin grabs a double with the Deadeye. Rick out answers one back with the self-destruct. And still kills going either way, but they can't get off the payload. They just have Korbeck here. Breakout goes out of mech. It's looking bleak here for the attack, but looking to clean up this last remaining Lucio as a res comes through on Lucibro. And there it is. Crysis Red with a kind of shaky initial defense there. They gave up the point, but stopped the payload right there. So all to play for, and that 30 seconds really could be the difference maker. So now, Rein 3X looking for the win to take this game to a third series with the lead in the final round on Kings Row. Looking to really answer this top tier team who really has, since the Tajin pickup in I think week 2 after the loss to Squaw, has been kind of steamrolling through this tier straight to the top. And Rein 3X slow and steady wins the race, looking to get right there. Currently in second, and they know they'll probably face this team in the playoffs, and looking to show them they can't be underestimated. Crysis Red coming out with their attack. Tajin on the Bastion, interesting pick. We're just looking to melt these shields. Get into a good spot, but Woody Calf melted immediately. A Bastion of their own on the other side. Sarge and Rick out starting to get the kills immediately. Oh, Tajin falling, and what a strong defense from Rein 3X. Definitely can't really be trifled with here. Rick out getting the kills, and yeah, Sarge on the Bastion. You see on fire there. 47% to an ultimate, leading his team and getting the damage in to melt that battle of attrition. That 30 seconds completely gone. They go for another initiation. Woody Calf here with the shield is trying to protect Crysis Red. They're really trying to bars their way through, but Sarge back there still on the Bastion looking to melt that shield. Woody Calf has to retreat. Now the pull can come through, and that's a good kill for a good pull from them. Sarge able to drop Justy Buck on the Orisa. The attack losing members, but now the Tajin Farah in the air is able to take out Rick out on the other side. Swift picking that tank back up. Reses on both sides, bringing the Orisas back into the fight as Sarge continues to get the kills. And yeah, Rein 3X looks like they're positioning themselves well, moving back onto the point, just letting the attack kind of push in a little bit, getting the damage in, forcing them to retreat. It's a rocket rush coming through from Tajin, able to catch Father Squanch, but then dropping via Sarge. And again, he's kind of pulled back a little bit, but now exposed actually. The shield there, not for him. Lucibro with the Transcendence to help the attack continue pushing. The wrapping up the kills now more or less. And Rick out both falling, but a solid shatter from Super C catches a couple. But Justy Buck with the Fortify able to stop him in his tracks. And now the tank configuration from Sarge VKL trying to get a couple kills, grabs Lucibro, but then falls. The res back in on Super C means Rein 3X may have a couple members continuing to defend this point, but now we're in overtime, and they know this would be huge. Justy Buck the only one left. Tajin up there as well, looking to continues stalling for the attack. They have the shorter respawn. Now the reinforcements. A shatter catches 3 from WoodieCav. It's a good pin from him. Continuing to get the damage in with his hammer. Tajin wrapping up kills. Super C, Father Scorch more or less all falling. Now the feed really going the way of Crysis Red as the control point meter continues to tick that direction. Sarge trying to stall as long as possible on the soldier, but gets cut down there. They got a tick now. Now 2 ticks. The rest coming through on Tajin will keep them a little bit stronger. And that'll be a cap for them. They got the 4 points, but they're in overtime. They need to push a little bit further to win this map and go into the playoffs. It's 7-2. It'd be 6-2. Now trying to get the damage through Tajin on this Pharah. Just getting the damage in on the shields. Still double shields for the attackers. They don't have much far to push this payload. You can see the highlight square, a rectangle rather, and continuing to get damage, looking to push as much as possible. The defense really clogging up this chokehold for them and not really giving them a lot of space. Greatest German Reaper, a fantastic pick, another solid shatter coming through from WoodieCav, catches a couple. Korbeck takes advantage, a double here on Lucy Bro and Tajin with that self-destruct. Ultimates now on both sides. And really the kills going the way of Rein's rejects. They can continue this defense, clean up the attackers, and take this map, force the third. The overtime meter ticks down, gets right back up as the contention continues. But there it is, Rein's rejects with a fantastic defense. What a response there, and able to take it to a third game in the series. Fantastic plays all around. The data coming through from Tajin. Able to get the kills, but not quite the win for Crysis Red. And still cards split like in the first game. Very tight between these two teams. That's why they're at the top of the tier. And we'll get the map pick from Crysis Red for the third game in this series when we come back. Oh, what a game so far. I could not ask for anything better between the top two teams in Challenger tier. Crysis Red at 5-2, Rein's Rejects 4-3. Very tight here, and Rein's Rejects able to answer back on their pick, Kings Row. We'll see what the pick is from Crysis Red going into the third round. And a lot to play for. Again, just a lot of pride here in Week 8. Last week, the regular season before the playoffs a week after next. We'll have the playoff schedule as soon as we get all the seeds in order up on the website, OWXL.com, and check it all out there. And again, make sure in the Discord links there on the website as well. See if there's any substitutions. Looks like it's Warrior of Time coming back in for Swift 63. We're going to Lijiang Tower. A good pick, and yeah, really good map to settle this fight between the top two teams. So we'll make sure we get all the substitutions in order, get the map switched up, and we'll be right back.
Now arriving at Lijiang.
Lijiang Tower. Again, both these teams looking to kind of claim bragging rights at the top of the challenger tier. I think mathematically, Rein's Rejects can't actually pass Crysis because of the head-to-head and because of other tie-breaking factors, but still showing that they can get it done. Starting off the season a little rough, like I know I've said before, but really impressed by how well the team's just kind of come together and started performing really well towards the middle to end of the season and climbed up this far. And it's looking really solid towards the second half and definitely deserve to be in the playoffs. So excited to see them there. Into the troll station. I think that's what it's called. Different look here. Breakout on the Winston. Father Squanch on the Zarya again. Super C going Reaper. Corbeck on the Lucio. Sarge on Soldier. More or less again on Moira. For the red team, Crysis Red. Greatest Genom on Tajin, or rather on Tracer Tajin on Genji. Woody Calf on Reinhardt. Justy Bug on Moira, Warrior of Time on Diva and Lucibro, and Lucio again.
Five, four, three, two, one. Round one. Capture the objective.
Now coming to point, Rein's Rejects kind of taking a little bit of this high ground, coming to the stair side. Crysis Red meets them there. The Orbs coming out, trying to build a little bit of charge. Father Squanch on the Zarya. Tajin diving into the back, looking for those supports. They don't really see him just yet. He's able to dart in and out, completely untouched. Still 200 there, able to get a little bit of damage there towards the end, but retreats back to his healers. And the control point opens here, but I think it is Rein's Rejects a little more authoritatively coming into point. They will cap it first. And yeah, strong push for them. Warrior of Time already caught in a tough spot, goes out of mech, and Sarge rewarded for that little extension. And that Tajin now coming in rather with the Dragon Blade, grabs Corby for another. Father Squanch falls as well. The Dragon Blade dicing now getting healed well, but more or less now falling via that Genji. A very strong effort from him to try and push and get Crysis back onto the point. They're going to hunt down the Super C. Reinhardt as Rick out goes out of mech immediately, can't continue to stall the rest of the team, just silhouettes in the background. And Crysis Red will cap the point, 31% gone for Rein's Rejects. But initial good start for them. They'll look to build some ultimates and take this point back. Speaking of which, Sarge very close to a tactical visor and looking for a space to use it behind. Finds Greatest Gen M, and who has a pulse bomb. Now both with ultimates, but now the fight kind of coming into the point a little bit. Super C very close to a shatter, and looking for that pulse bomb more or less falling to it. Sarge able to grab Greatest Gem, so it's still kind of swapping either side, but Crysis continues to push. Now it is that Visor coming out from Sarge, able to catch a couple. The Shatter catches a few as well. Tajan on the ground, amongst others. And now it's really just scrappy all around the fight. Not a lot of help for some of these tanks on the point. Crysis continuing to defend well. They're past the point that Rein's Rejects had earned. It's a icing on the cake. Self-destruct catches one on Korbeck. So yeah, will be a retreat here for Rein's Rejects. We'll have to regroup. Now Tajan kind of making himself for going in with the Dragon Blade, catching Sarge, looking for another. And doesn't find it, but does get caught. Lucy broke down as well, as now Rein's Rejects comes back into the point. Streaming back in, and maybe we'll punish Crysis Red for that enthusiasm. Pushing back on the point very quickly, looking to get the last remaining kills and take it back. 68% gone for Crysis Red. Warrior time out of mech. So it's a tough loss for them, but you see them with reinforcements coming. Continuing to clean up the kills. Control point threatening to creep up maybe a little bit. Yeah, but now more coming in for Crysis Red. Looks like they will be able to stabilize just a little bit here. They've got a couple ultimates and coalescence on the way from Warrior Less. Expect to see it very quickly. Woody Calf with a Primal Rage as well. The Coalescence coming out here is looking to wrap up with the rest and keep the Rein's Rejects members alive. They're starting to really earn some percentage on this point, but a contention still coming through from the red team. Crysis Red here. Justy Buck very low and does fall. Super C and Breakout combining well. It's 99% for Crysis Red, and Rein's Rejects trying to get a little bit bigger piece of the pie. Warrior time out of mech does fall. The control point meter continues to flip for Rein's Rejects, and it was a good attack from them. And they didn't have to use a ton of ults. Still got 4, close to a 5th with the Deadeye from Sarge. 2 ultimates for the red team, and they'll have to build a few before they engage, but they've got the time. Still got 99%, so they only need to win 1 fight, so just do it once and do it correctly. Now going in with the Dragon Blade Tajan again, trying to get a couple kills, finds more or less. Sarge making a drop as well, continuing to dice, looking for some more damage, and Sarge going down that 5% away from Udada will be disadvantaged. Korbeck falling once more to the self-destruct, and Tajan continuing to get the kills for Crysis Red. Really starting to look like it's going in a direction as the control point starts to flip that way. Yeah, wrapping up here, it does just about flip their favor. Somebody's still contesting, but now in overtime, the point starts to drop. We'll see if any members from Rein's Rejects can get back. Sarge very close, but not quite able to get there. Had the data, I couldn't use it. And yeah, will lose the point. Rein's Rejects in a bit of a hole, but Crysis Red looking to wrap it up in 2 here on Lijiang Tower. And all to play for here. Man, what a game it's been so far. The comps coming out, switching around a little bit, and we'll see if Crysis Red can wrap it up in the second round of Lijiang, or if Rein's Rejects can come back in the second game like they did in the second game of the series, force the third, and take us to a third round on Lijiang. Already getting kills in early. Tajan trying to get into the back lines and get some damage in. Nobody falling just yet. The control point opening in about 5 seconds. Father Squanch the first casualty as Tajan is able to get that damage through. Finds another on Korbeck, and with it making Rein's Rejects suffer for not focusing him down, continuing to get the kills, and yeah, finally pinned there. Super C takes it to his own, Madison to his own hands. Lucy Rowe makes him pay. Another support getting the kill as Just Buck wraps up Rick out. It will go Crysis Red's way. And Rein's Rejects definitely wanted a bit of a stronger response on the second round. We're hoping to take the point first, but we're not able to. And now having to regroup once more as Greatest Shouldn't have able to get the pulse bomb on Korbeck and stagger that support. They'll go in regardless with the Coalescence from more or less. Uses the Shatter here. Super C able to, I don't think he actually was able to catch a couple, or maybe try to use the Shatter because he actually didn't use it. I thought he actually had used it there, but able to look for an opportunity, maybe just try the Fire Strike. Bell gets diced or cut down immediately. Tajan again with the Dragon Blade, getting the damage in, looking for another tank. Father Squanch finally falling. Bubble wasn't quite enough to repel all of that damage. And Tajan, yeah, they're really gonna have to do something about this Genji because he's just kind of having a field day out here. Ooh, and now a shatter coming through from Super C. We're going to catch a couple. The sound barrier could be enough for Crysis Red. They're still earning percentage on the point as the fight's well away from it. Still kills going back and forth either side. It's a Primal Rage now coming out. Lucibro finally getting some kills here as Crysis Red starts to wrap up. It's just about with a Coalescence in a very tight area, able to do quite a bit of damage and healing for the team. Coming back, pushing all the way back to spawn. It's still 64% as the percentage continues to build for Crysis Red. And again, really pushing Rein's Reject back a little bit further. Now a bit of a back cap coming through as this Winston Father Squanch very close to his Primal Rage and could continue contesting, but gets onto the point and looks to disrupt the defense and kind of make him pay for pushing up a little bit too far. And now with the Primal Rage tries to maybe use it here. Yeah, it does it. Is able to get a lot of the health back. So as the Rice was able to stay alive that long, was a good stall from him. Self-destruct coming through does catch more or less, and 1% away from the ultimate will be very difficult to contend with for Rein's Rejects. Now in overtime, Crysis Red could win it here if they wrap up this kill with Sarge BKL, trying to save you with the triple on the Death Blossom, and grabs another on Warrior Time. What a fantastic ultimate from him. Another one on that pilot, and it's now capturing the point back for Rein's Rejects at the death. And yeah, what can you say about the ultimate there from Sarge? Impressive from him, to be sure. And yeah, just really solid. Come back through, getting taken down. This row able to grab him, and now it's Crysis Red trying to come back at the point. We've got a few ultimates to work with. The first of which coming out, the Pulse Bomb doesn't quite connect here. Baram, great as shit in, but starting to get the kills regardless. Warrior Time able to take more or less out of the fight, and yeah, really coming back into the bench. It's only 32% gone for Brian's Rejects. Left the stall as long as possible. And the kills going back and forth. Witty Cap getting some kills. Lucibro piling on his Warrior Time. Could use the self-destruct. Doesn't really get it out of the ways they may be aware of, but is still able to catch Rick out. He just got out of mech and couldn't get away. Yeah, now it's Crysis Red really wrapping up the point more or less, trying to stall as long as possible, but the Dragon Blade comes through once more from Tajin, getting those kills and trying to prevent the stall coming in from Rein's Rejects. But the camera on the outside, I think he expected him to go through the courtyard, didn't quite pan out, but now Father Squanch going down with the Primal Rage in his pocket. Tough to lose that ultimate. Korvac falling again, all the members of Rein's Rejects just falling as soon as they come into the point and trying to contest as long as possible. It's Sarge again trying to come in with damage, but doesn't have that ultimate in. Will get focused down very quickly, I think, from Crysis. But now the stall still coming through from the blue team. The Pulse Bomb doesn't quite connect here, but Lucibro getting the kill on Breakout and getting him out of mech. Father Squanch able to get back with that Primal Rage. Another Death Blossom from Sarge will catch Warrior Time. Just went out of mech. And yeah, just a all-out brawl here on the point. Crysis Red just looking to wrap up the kills as quickly as possible, but Rein's Rejects just won't take no for an answer. We're now starting to really wrap up. It looks like a Super C American Rocket Barrage just won't quite be enough. And as it, Crysis Red taking the win, taking the game here on Lijiang Tower. And yeah, what a game we see from these two sides.
Play of the game.
Bit of a consolation prize here for Sarge, able to get the Death Blossom in and really get the kills to kind of turn this out of the fight for Rein's Rejects. And they were able to earn some percentage, but ultimately not able to win it. Crysis Red comes out victorious. And yeah, all the more intriguing now should they meet in the playoffs. So we'll get some looks at that and look ahead to maybe some Week 9 games when we come back. Oh, and what a game from these two teams at the top of the challenger tier. And yeah, really just the best part of what has been a phenomenal season for both the two sides and for the season on, just for the league on the whole. Yeah, just impressive to see Rein's Rejects again coming out here and really taking Crysis down to the wire. And yeah, excited for any matchups we see from those two teams in the future. Yeah, really exciting there. And again, looking ahead, we've got some Week 9 matchups that still need to be scheduled. I know that Dana DeFito, I think, needs to play Drunken Shimada Clan, and DLG also needs to play Drunken Shimada, and Legacy may need to get there as well. So still playoff implications coming out. We'll get those schedules to you in the Discord server first and then on the website. So make sure to check out both those spots. Yeah, looking really, really good. These two sides, and excited to see what they have for us in the playoffs. But yeah, really appreciate you guys watching. Again, we are Switch affiliates now, so if you have a Amazon Prime subscription you're not using, you throw it there. It helps support the league and get prizes for tournaments and things in the future. So really appreciate it. It's a fantastic team of volunteers that do a lot of the work behind the scenes, getting all this stuff ready. So really appreciate all the support from our existing subscribers, and should you subscribe, we really appreciate it. So again, any information you need about the league, OWXLeague.com, got it all there for you. Or you can just get in the Discord server and just ask any one of the admins. Everybody's generally pretty helpful, so you can find out whatever you're looking for. But yeah, that will do it for us. Appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time. If they don't see him back here, greatest gem on high ground, they can push off by this Reaper. He's got a chance, uses it, and catches 2-3. And what a huge move pushing this chokehold. Now, an ultimate coming up from Sarge, looking damage with his jump red tire, looks to hide in and catch the attack unaware. Gets behind and does get blue cap with that tire. Falling just yet, about 5 seconds. Falling shoulders the first casualty, and stage and damage through. Once another